to gijora rieda, kelo pole maga makende, kum lalo George. I'll be brief, as we had agreed. PM, it's not easy, Timon and George, but because I've been told to represent friends, I'll try. I first met George at the University of Nairobi, I think around 2002 or 2003. There was an event where the Prime Minister came to do a public lecture, organized by the then Odhiambo professor and another. And as a young law student, we used to look up to our seniors. Ted Munovu was the chairman then, Ken Obura. So we walked from Parklands to main campus. And when the Prime Minister, after doing his public lecture, went upstairs to the so-called senior common room, then our leaders also followed him up there. I decided to go say hi to this gentleman that came with the Prime Minister. Telo Bear Ainya. That is how our friendship began with George. And he's held my hands over the years. Along the way, some months later, he told me, Aneno Kenyathima Longo, Biateri Musane Jakom. Noterari Jakom at a venue called the United Kenya Club. And I did lunch with Jakom. I think that day there was also Francis Ogola. And thank you, Jakom, for the time shared. The honor I had to serve you through George is not a small thing. Moving on to just recently, I don't want to speak to our friendship. It's a long time of friendship. George and Caro are always on the island, the so-called the Promised Island Mfangano. And I said the other day, the first time they came, you know, when visitors come to visit us, Daktari, we do fish. So George did not eat fish. He said, he didn't do fish. He had to eat eggs as we destroyed the samaki. So one thing is, George, though he comes from the lakeside, is one of the few people from this area who never did fish and hated fish. Whenever he goes to his in-laws, the Lambwe people are here, rather Karachunyu people who live in Suba, in Lambwe, I was always by his side. Whenever I did, of course, my ceremonies at my in-laws, George was always there, and of course, alongside Fidel Odinga. So the friendship has been there for a long time. In fact, Kano Godalaka, when he was doing his house, the home here, Excellency and Prime Minister, George invited me, in spite of my young age, to come and do the two trees by the gate, this side. And he did the same for me when I was doing my residence at Jakakimba. He came with Madame, and they did the same thing at my residence, at the gate, the two trees. So, thank you so much. But coming to recently, I know Bruce tried speaking, and I don't want to talk about his sickness, but I just want to tell you people, because most people are calling me asking, did George have an accident? George really struggled the last 3 weeks. And PM, thank you so much. In spite of your tight schedules, you are going to Sudan, coming back, checking in. You even came to the hospital, it was tough, and you told me, Sila, this is terrible. But you always found time to come and offer moral support. So thank you so much. I know there's something we want to do away with in terms of Thanksgiving. It's called vote of thanks. So thank you, Jakom, for everything and the moral support. You remember the day you came when he was in ICU, second time? He opened his eyes for the first time in 4 days of ICU when you came with Maurice and Upondo. And that really encouraged him. In fact, the last word I think he added was Erokamano to Jakom. So asante sana. Thank you, Excellency, the President, through Dr. Omolo. Your moral support has always been around us. But George, as I told PM, is a strong man. He went through this thing bravely. He was very brave. From home, he went to ICU, did HDU for around 9 days, went back to ICU, but he was very brave and strong throughout. And thank you, PM, for the honor. You called me to your office and told me, Sila, I want you to coordinate this thing. And of course, I asked PM, could we have Dr. Tienda Molo? to support. Because PM told me I don't want a funeral committee. And I know, and he's been in denial. I know Prime Minister Odinga almost very well. He's paining, he's grieving. And I told you, Daktari, he told me, still, I don't want a committee. Committee for what? Committee marango. You know, I'll not say much because he's in pain and I understand him. But he was gracious enough to allow us to have Daktari to handle this space. So asante sana for the honor to do this, and God bless you. On behalf of all friends, we say asanteni for the support. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. And the church, Bishop, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. God's relatives, mbarikiwe. Pastor Evelyn, yes, support Bwana Ruto. Thank you, Prime Minister and President.
Thank you, Silas. Excellency, do not let Jakakimba mislead you that there's only one promised island.